I didn't sleep at home after the ER. I told myself it was because the dog needed a quiet place and the house needed airing out. The next day I went back in daylight with a list. Fix the soffit vent, replace the bedroom latch, and install a cheap indoor camera facing the hallway. The kind of stuff you do so you don't feel like prey. The camera had night vision and motion alerts. I mounted it high enough that a chicken, if that somehow mattered, couldn't knock it over. Then I stood in the hall and tested it like an idiot, waving my arms, walking back and forth. On the app, the hallway looked colder than it felt, like a place that didn't want me in it. At 1:12 a.m., my phone buzzed. Motion detected. Hallway. I sat up on the couch so fast my wrists stung under the bandage. The live feed loaded. Nothing. No shadow. No dog. No dust. Just my bedroom door, shut. The baby gate in place. Still. Then, soft, almost polite. Tap, tap, tap. The sound didn't come through the camera mic the way I expected. It wasn't sharp. It was dull and close, like someone tapping on the inside of a wall. The doorknob turned a fraction. Click. My throat tightened so hard I tasted metal. I stayed on the couch, broom in my lap, staring at the feed like watching would make me safer. The knob stopped. The door didn't open. But the tapping moved. 3 taps, a pause. 3 taps, a pause, traveling down the hall toward the attic access panel in the ceiling. And then the camera froze. Just for half a second. When it came back, the attic panel was wrong. Not open. Not hanging. Just shifted enough that the shadow line around it wasn't straight anymore. In the morning, I called a pest control company and paid the emergency fee because money is easier than panic. 2 guys showed up, boot covers on, flashlights out, like they'd done this exact dance 1,000 times. They checked the attic. They found droppings, muddy handprints on the insulation, a torn corner of the soffit vent where something had squeezed through. "Raccoon," one of them said, like he was naming a stain. "Is it still up there?" I asked. He shined the light into the far corner, slow. "Not now." That should have been relief. Instead, my stomach dropped, because "not now" meant it had been. It meant it knew the way in and out. They patched the vent with metal mesh. They sprayed enzyme cleaner where the droppings were. They told me to keep the dog away from the attic access and call if I heard movement. I nodded like a normal homeowner, signed the invoice, and tried not to look at my bedroom door. After they left, I checked the coop out back. The carabiner was gone. The exact one I'd clipped through the bolt the night Brownie got out. I tore through the shed, the junk drawer, the kitchen counter, every place a small piece of metal could vanish. Then I saw it, hanging from my bedroom doorknob. My skin went cold, because I hadn't touched it since that night. Animal control hadn't come inside my house. Pest control hadn't been upstairs. I lived alone, and the only other person with a key was my girlfriend, who was still out of town. I didn't walk into the bedroom. I didn't. I stayed in the hall, staring at that stupid little clip dangling from the knob like a joke. Tap, tap, tap. Not from the attic. Not from the door. From behind me. I spun, and my dog, who hadn't entered the house since the ER, was standing just inside the front doorway. I hadn't let him in. I'd been careful. I'd been obsessive. He stared up at the ceiling like he could see through drywall. And then I heard it, faint but unmistakable. 3 taps above the hallway light fixture. A pause, then the slow, familiar click of a latch being tested. My phone buzzed again with a reminder from the hospital. Follow-up appointment, 1:13 p.m. I stared at the time and felt something ugly settle into my chest. Because the taps weren't random. They were on schedule. I grabbed my keys and didn't even think about shoes. I got the dog into the car and locked the doors like metal could keep out what wood couldn't. As I backed down the driveway, the hallway camera sent one last notification. Motion detected. Hallway. 1:13. I shouldn't have opened it while driving, but I did. The feed showed my hallway, empty, my bedroom door shut, the carabiner still hanging from the knob. Then the attic access panel shifted, just a hair, and something in the dark above it tapped back. Tap, tap, tap. And from somewhere in my house, quiet as a breath, came the answering sound of a lock giving way. Click. I drove until my hands stopped shaking, but at the first red light, with my car sealed and my dog trembling on the passenger seat, I heard it again, right beside my ear, coming from inside the door panel. 3 soft taps, a pause, and the smallest, most patient click.